Okay, let's go for it. First shot, first take, can we do it? I don't know, but we will try. Okay. Okay.
Today, however,
Take
very pleasant
two.
reading. 73 up in the
So,
Midland area, 72 in Garden City, 70
two.
reported by Dodge City and Liberal, 72...
Blockchain infrastructure as a service. Bias? BS? What is blockchain infrastructure as a service, otherwise known as BS? Well, it's an easy way to run a blockchain without having to deal with managing the software and hardware of a computer connected to the network, otherwise known as a node. The best analog for this is cloud infrastructure providers like AWS, Azure, Google, and IBM. Running a node requires technical expertise for both the hardware and software that can be costly for teams looking to simply just build quickly. That's why outsourcing the management of the nodes is useful for teams looking to build decentralized applications efficiently. Blockchain infrastructure, it's broken down into several key components: nodes, clients, supporting infrastructure, and security. Nodes have very specific functions like validating blocks, reading and writing the blockchain, or simply being proxies for privacy. Client is the software that needs to be updated. The software is an implementation that's essential for a node to carry out its function within a blockchain network. For example, Ethereum and Pontum could operate within the same node hardware, similar to Polkadot, but we all require different clients to operate within that node, different software. Node supporting infrastructure, it does just that. It supports the infrastructure with things such as load balancing to make sure that traffic's evenly distributed across the server so that you can scale horizontally as your business grows. Security components such as key management services for cold and hot wallets, firewalls, for example, also are very important considerations when picking an infrastructure provider. So how does it work? Well, it's pretty simple. A client pays a provider to operate and maintain nodes on their behalf. The node service providers then maintain and updates those nodes at the managed aspect of it. And then these node services are accessible via API endpoints to developers. So these are easy to plug into. Many providers have their own tokens, which serve as security purposes, governance functions, as well as utility for paying for these services. Not all providers specialize in one chain, like Infura on Ethereum. Some, like PinkNode, are multi-chain, but still operate on an internet of blockchains, which is Polkadot. Other more centralized services, like BlockDaemon, for example, support over 30 plus blockchains. So what are some of the pros and cons of using an infrastructure provider? Well, the pros is that you save time and money by not having to manage hardware and software yourself. You get to pay as you go, as you scale, that is customizable to your needs. There's also no need for expert blockchain knowledge for a particular blockchain, so teams can focus on the user experience and higher level abstractions of your end user application. What are some of the cons? Well, there's lack of control. There can be system downtime when nodes aren't running, so sometimes a multi-cloud or backup on-prem nodes are appropriate if you need 100% uptime, so that's a consideration. Centralization is also a con. By using a service provider, you're essentially centralizing the infrastructure of your product. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's a consideration set for forks or chain upgrades. Okay, so what should you consider as you're choosing an infrastructure provider? Ultimately, this boils down to your business outcomes and needs along the following dimensions. Smart contract capabilities across multiple chains. You'll need to make sure that your provider supports these or at least connects to them. Scalability. If there's a large inflow of activity on your network, can your infrastructure provider scale with you as your business grows? And then pricing. Many have different options. Some even offer free tiers and trials. What are your options? We'll provide a nicely put together chart and summary in our blog post, so please take a look at that. But here are some of the options narrowed down. You could go with the big daddy of managed infrastructure, AWS, which allows you to join public networks like Ethereum or private networks like Hyperledger Fabric, although there's a highly centralized system, so not a popular choice in the decentralized Web3. BlockDaemon, one that is popular, recently raised a lot of money. They're another provider supporting more than 30 plus blockchain networks with easy use and a scalable node management platform or UI to connect to these. Infura, they're the market leader in Ethereum nodes. They own and operate their own nodes and provide APIs to enable instant access to the Ethereum network. And then PinkNode, which has been referred to as the Infura of Polkadot, which is a relatively new ecosystem recently launched its first parachains on the Kusama incentivized testnet. And similar to Infura, PinkNode provides a secure, reliable, and scalable web API to access the Polkadot relay chain and its ecosystem of parachains and parathreads, which Polkadot will be one of. So through these infrastructure providers, you'll be able to easily deploy and scale your blockchain applications that are built on Pontum. So yeah, you should probably consider a blockchain infrastructure provider. No bias there from me, just be us. And that's it.